So I'm not gonna be before you guys long, just wanna take a few 5-10 minutes and just talk to y'all just about a couple things. Everybody knows we've been talking about reaching your full potential. Last couple of weeks we talked about decide it, believe it, expect it, and endure it. Say decide it, believe it, expect it, and endure it. Last week we talked about make sure getting your mind right, making sure you have the right and proper mindset when you're trying to achieve something. Today I'm so excited about today, because today we're talking about watching what you say. All right, today we're gonna talk about watching what you say. Now, this is probably an area that I really had to get a hold of, because as human beings, by nature, we are driven towards to be negative. All right, we're always geared towards negative. I mean, we do it every day. On the news, I rarely hear about something good happening on the news. There's always negativity. And what starts to happen is we ourselves start gearing towards negativity, and if we don't watch what we're saying, that is going to filtrate into everything we do in life, whether it's in football, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's in your home life. We really have to watch what it is that we're saying, not only about ourselves, but to each other and to our family and friends and people that might be around us. So some of the things that we always say, and you don't even know what you're saying. For example, man, I stay broke. How many people know people that say that? Man, I just stay broke. I ain't never got no money. I stay broke. All right. Number 2, man, I stay sick. I'm always sick. I always got an issue. I stay sick. I stay with issues. All right. Number 3, they never give a brother a break. Oh man, how many times have I heard that? They don't never give a brother a break. And the last one that's very popular, like, man, I'm so stupid. Man, I'm stupid. When you make a mistake, man, I'm stupid. So I really want to share with you how negatively, even though you think you're saying it just in passing or just being innocent, I want to share with you on how this can negatively affect you. Now, I'm sure most of us don't want to be broke, stupid, and we all want opportunities in life, right? So we really have to do a better job of watching what it is we're saying. For example, I grew up in the era of Tupac and Biggie. The debate, you know, some of you guys might say different, but I think they're some of the greatest rappers of all time. You know what I'm saying? That's the era I grew up in. Now, if you go back and listen to some of their music, especially Tupac, he rapped about dying early, leaving the earth, you know, having his mama bury him. If you go back and listen to some of his music, that's all he ever talked about. Now, then came the day in 1996 in September, Tupac is gunned down in Las Vegas. The reason that happened, I believe, is because over a period of time, he kept confessing and confessing his own death until it ultimately happened. Another example, Biggie Smalls. He rapped about the same thing, dying, not living a long time. Baby girl going to grow up without her father. 6 months later, he died. Now that might be a little old for y'all. I'll give you guys a current example. 2 Chainz got a song out right now called about feds watching. I'm gonna be beat. I don't know what he said. I'm gonna get bread when the feds watching. Really? Do you really want the feds watching what you're doing?
He's gonna be fresh as hell.
Do you really want the feds watching what you're doing? Do you really want them going through your information? Really? Yes or no?
No.
But you guys repeat it. But you guys sing it. You guys sing it all the time. Do you really want the United States government watching what you're doing? Think about it. So that's and those are things that I really want you guys to think about what it is that you're saying. So you guys know my story. In 2009, it was very tough for me financially. But one of the things I had to do to reach my full potential, and in order not only get my mind right, but I had to change what it was I was saying, not only about my situation, and I had to change the company that I was around in certain conversations I was having with them. I'm having problems finding a job. There is no reason why I need to be saying, man, I can't find a job, and I need to be around other people who say they can't find jobs either. So we all gonna be broke. So I need to entertain conversations about not finding work, and that's what I need right now, to find a job. All right? So, and as a young black man, a young man of color, that's one of the things, you know, we've always been brought up in negativity. The brother, you know, they never gonna give a brother a break. And if you don't watch it, your mind will start to warp that way. All right? Your mind will start to warp that way, and that'll be the mentality that you approach everyday life. It's coach's fault I don't play. And I ain't never go play. Why? Because coach don't like me. Who said I didn't like you? Who said we didn't like you? People say Hollins is my favorite. No, Hollins do what I expect him to do. That's why I like Hollins. I like all of you. When you have the reason I respect Hollins. It's not that I like him more than anybody else, but I respect him because he does what I ask him to do. He doesn't give me attitude. He does everything I ask as a coach that I ask a player to do. And he's improving. All right? So you guys know I got to give my biblical illustration. We're coming from Mark chapter 11, verses 22 and 23. And it says, and right here it says, and Jesus answered, said unto them, have faith in God. For surely I say unto you that whosoever say unto this mountain, be removed and cast into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but he believes that those things that he said will be done, that he shall have whatever he says. So what Jesus is saying, hey, listen, I have the power over my situation based on what I say. And this is something I had to get a hold of because I knew once I grabbed this principle, once I grabbed this mindset, once I knew the confession that I had to get a hold of, I knew there wasn't anybody that could stop me from doing what I needed to do. But I had to get the right confession. I couldn't entertain conversations with people who couldn't find work, and that's what I need right now. I'm getting married. I got married a year later. I didn't need to sit around people who was talking about how bad their ex-wife was. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be entertaining that. I'm about to get married and you telling me how bad your ex-wife was to you. I don't need to be around that. All right? So what I want you guys to understand is that how do we get the right confession? How do we get to the path where we say the right things in our life? And there's two things. Number one, you have to arm yourself with the right confession and change the company that you are hanging around with. Arm yourself with the right confession and change the company. Say, arm yourself with the right confession.
Arm yourself with the right confession.
And change your company.
Change your company.
Some of you entertain conversations, unfortunately, some of it is with your teammates, with guys who don't play. And because you might be in a situation where you're not getting as much time as you thought you might get, coach don't like me, and what starts to happen is you playing, you doing good. But now the person who's not playing, hey dog, come here, man. Coach, I be tripping, man. I don't know why he always messing with me, man. And you start to fold into that. So now your confession is, and over a period of time, after you start talking to him, hanging out with him, listening to what he said, now you have warped your thinking, and now you start to confess, man, coach don't like me. He always getting on to me. You were fine before. You could take tough coaching before. Why? What is your issue right now? Because you started hanging around with folk with negative confessions, and you started saying that. Number two, you have to find a good role model. Good role model to study from. You have to find a good role model to study from. One of the people I studied, especially with the situation that I was in, two of the people that I studied was Steve Harvey and Bishop T.D. Jakes. Now, why did you study them, Coach Ivy? Because when I go back and study how Steve Harvey came up, Steve Harvey lived in his car for 3 years. 3 years living out of his car, struggling as a comedian. Yeah, all y'all just know Kings of Comedy, radio show, TV show, movies. But before that, before the lights, the camera, the money, the cars, the clothes, he was living in his car. But through that process, he saw himself getting to where he needed to go because of the confessions he was telling himself. 3 years living in his car. My God. 3 years. But he knew he could get where he wanted to go if he armed himself with the right confession. Number 2, T.D. Jakes. T.D. Jakes, when he started in ministry, he was so broke, he would feed his family of 4 at the time, and him and his brother would go pick apples to feed his family. Because that's all he could afford. Electric company turned off his water heater, but because he knew he was kind of sort of a handyman, he knew how to turn it back on, so they came and took it. Those are people who at a point in their life had adversity, but because they armed themselves with the right confession, they were able to get out of it. All right? Now, what we have to do, and I'm closing right now, how this is going to base towards us, Coach? We're 3-3. Feeling good about ourselves. 2 in a row. Feel good. Yeah. We've arrived. We had it. We had it. Now, how are we going to approach this situation? Now, you can either say, hey, man, we won 3 games. More games than we won last year. That's what I've been told anyway. Or are we going to see this as an opportunity and arm ourselves with the right confession to beat Stony Creek or whoever it is we're going to be playing here in the next couple of weeks? All right, so number 1, in closing, you got to arm yourself with the right confession. Stop entertaining conversations with people and teammates with negative things. Stop having negative conversations with them. If he's not playing, there's a reason why he's not playing. So you don't need to allow him or anybody else drag you over there. All right, number 2, find a good role model to study from. You know, find someone who has been at the bottom of the conference, and that's where we were, at the bottom of the conference. Now we're rising up. People starting to talk about you. People say, oh, they got potential, but potential amounts to nothing if you don't maximize it. I know a lot of people with potential. That's why we get all hard to some of y'all, because a lot of y'all, some of y'all have great potential, but if you don't maximize that potential, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. So that's why I want to encourage you guys. If we all, as a team, believe we're going to win, start confessing that we're going to win. I know it looks stupid. I know it seems serious. Man, we're going to win, we're going to win. Like I mentioned before a couple weeks ago, how many people know people that lie a lot? They tell lies so much that they start to believe it themselves. Y'all know people like that? Be telling the same lie over and over. Now they believe it really happened. And that's the way it has to work. You start confessing that thing. I'm going to make plays. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to be a good student. I'm going to be a good son. I'm going to be a good community guy. I'm going to always help people. And you start confessing those things. Watch how your life starts to change and you start doing those things. And guys, if we do that, that's one more leg, one more step to get us to that place called full potential. That's all I got for you today.